Hey everybody, just a quick stream tonight, although there's like tons of stuff to go through. Obviously it's been a pretty good day for our bags. Been a long time coming, not just for Bitcoin, but plenty of alts popping off as well. Jackson Hole's turned out quite nicely. Powell's come out and pretty much said everything everybody was hoping he was going to say with regard to firing up the money printer. Kind of sad that we need that to happen, but that's just the way it is. The only thing he hasn't said is exactly what scale of rate cuts we're going to have, how many basis points we're going to have, but he has implied that in September we're going to start getting cuts. And yeah, the markets have quite liked it. So yeah, just looking at Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, just to cover Jackson Hole quickly, just to summarize, basically, off the top of my head, what Powell said is that inflation's no longer the primary concern. Obviously, the Fed has the dual mandate of maintaining the labor market, making sure everyone's got a job, or the optimal number of people have got a job, and then keeping inflation to a sane level. They usually talk about 2%. So yeah, what he's saying is that inflation's on track to head back down to 2%. That sounds a bit fanciful to me, but anyway, that's what he said. And the primary concern now is the labor market, and non-farm payrolls came in off expectations the other day. So, jobs are not being added as quickly as people were projecting. And basically, Powell saying he's going to act in the interest of the labor market now, which means to me that they're going to have to loosen up monetary policy to make sure there's, things like more corporate credit to go around. When companies have got more cash to spend, they tend to hire more people. And, that's the basic mechanism in play, as far as I can tell. So, yeah, good times. Money printer is on. DXY reacted immediately with a massive dump. I actually don't have a chart up, so let's just get that up. Yeah, 563 flagged this to me in the channel because I was out driving people around when Powell started speaking. But yeah, if we look on the daily, just a massive and immediate dump down to 100 level. This chart's looking pretty bearish now for Daddy Dollar. And, I think we're going to get a run probably down to, I don't know, mid to low 90s if I had to guess, which will be good for our coins. So, yeah, just to look at that Bitcoin chart again, basically I do these squiggles on the 12th or even before, earlier in the month. Basically, when we got this big retracement candle that crashed into the 200-day MA, at that point I kind of knew that this support had to hold, this 57K support, because if we test this again, it likely fails. You can see all these lows here have failed. We made this low, didn't hold. We made this low, didn't hold. So, if we went back down here, it's likely this wouldn't hold and we'd end up down here, which would be really ugly. So, yeah, this thing, to me, it had to hold. And it was also going to take some time to reclaim this 200-day MA, which is exactly what we're doing right now in the last couple of hours. We've pumped through this 200-day. This is your standard bull bear pivot on the chart. It took us 8 days here, about a month here. Here it's taken, 2 weeks? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's about 2 weeks, maybe a bit less. But yeah, hopefully we don't reject and this holds, and then we can make our way up to the 67K level, which is a biggie. But yeah, I'm long. I've been long Bitcoin since I think yesterday morning. I posted in Discord just the rationale. We got a 10-20 MA cross in the daily. I'm targeting up here, sort of 72K area, 70 to 72, because I think there's liquidity at these equal highs. There's going to be a lot of liquidity resting up here, and I think market makers are going to want to target that. This is a big level to break through, and then we've got this downtrend, which has been quite clean, and that's another. So there's a few hurdles before we get up here, but I think the Powell pivot being complete is basically flip dovish. People have been waiting for it since forever, talking about it, praying for it, pleading. Yeah, it's kind of complete now, and I think the market's just going to keep pricing that in. That there's going to be easy monetary policy for the foreseeable, which for Bitcoin is happy days. We're not in a recession as well. I mean, I'm still seeing debate about that. There's some permabears out there saying, finding data that's, makes the argument that we are. I don't know. There's some smart people who are arguing that we're not. We're in a state where fiscal policy demands money printing. And, that's what's driving everything. The nothing stops this train sort of argument. So, yeah, I think we're going up here with Bitcoin, and that's what I'm targeting. I'll close the trade up here. But I think we're also going to new highs. I just don't know what the time frame will be. I don't know. But I think within a month to 2 months, definitely new highs, almost certainly. Not to be a bulltard, but I don't know. This chart's just obvious to me. Donald just posted the daily chart earlier. Let's delete these now because that's done. We don't really need this, hopefully. That still needs to hold. But, there's a fractal here where we took the lows and did like an Adam and Eve thing. This Adam is your sharp dump into support, and then a rounding bottom is your Eve. Doing the same thing here, made our ways up to the highs. Now we've got much more liquidity, much more dovish macro environment. It seems like a no-brainer to me that we're going to make new highs into October, September. Seasonality-wise, it's been not a great month, but we're also in a halving year, so I don't know how meaningful that historical data is. October almost certainly will be a very bullish month with a lot of liquidity sloshing around pre-elections. So, yeah. And then just zooming out a bit, looking at... Actually, I wanted to look at the weekly... I think Donald is saying he's concerned about this level on the weekly where we've rejected before. Yeah, this is a big volume node. So yeah, just actually the daily is better. Let's have a look at the daily because liquidity even pumped higher today. Got an immediate pump higher in liquidity and an immediate dump lower. You can see this inverse correlation here with DXY. And this is the M2 Global Liquidity Index, which is at all-time highs. That's when you see Bitcoin move. If you're in a recession, you may get all-time highs. Bitcoin doesn't move. But, this chart's telling me the way Bitcoin's moving, that we're not in a recession. Yeah. Let's just have a look at gold, see what gold did today. I haven't really looked at that. Also kind of pushing. This is gold here. Hasn't made new highs, but looks pretty bullish. Yeah, so good times for Bitcoin and gold and monetary policy hedges. And then this is good. So this is the old Coinalyze long shorts ratio that I'm constantly looking at, because I think when we push into 70, 72, 74K highs, this thing needs to reset. It's probably going to reset into the highs, which is what we need it to do. And I like the way it's coming down here, making all these lower highs. As price goes higher, this ratio is coming down. This is not the case for ETH and Solana. I don't have those to hand, which is why I'm long Bitcoin and not those two. It probably will be the case after Bitcoin's done making new highs. We will probably see something similar. But right now, this ratio on Solana and ETH is a bit too high for me. I don't know the charts up. Let me look at them quickly. Let's have a look. Too many windows open here. So let's look at the 4R. It's actually gone up. The price is going up, and this is going up. To me, that's not bullish for a sustained rally. Vitalik started bull tweeting, which may be kind of bullish on ETH and ETH BTC in particular. But I don't know. I think it's still going to underperform Bitcoin, or just be flat, maybe. I don't know. I think risk reward is better to be long Bitcoin at the moment. We need Bitcoin to make new highs more than we need ETH. I mean, unless you're a giant ETH bag holder, which there are quite a few around. So that's Vitalik's tweet there. So far, it's the low. On the daily, it's made the low. The tweet was up here somewhere. Anyway, this is my retarded fundamental analysis. I think it's good that Vitalik just makes left curve bull tweets into pumping liquidity. We don't need any more philosophy essays. We don't need any obscure, arcane snippets of code being posted. We need the dude who founded the protocol to stand up and say this thing's going to the moon, and that's how we'll get there. So that's ETH BTC. It's an ugly chart. Stop looking at that because they're better charts to look at. Yeah, so here's the Donald tweet. Sometimes it's as easy as just looking at the chart without anything on it. Yeah, it is a very pretty chart. Not near the highs yet, but we're going there. And then this is Sui. So yeah, there's a bunch of alts that are outperforming Bitcoin and have been since July the 5th and August the 5th lows. So Ansem had this tweet earlier today, actually just a couple of hours ago. Weekend homework: go through the top 200 alts by volume, mark out the July 5th and August 5th lows. Those were the big Bitcoin dumps. Look at what you're making higher lows on the alt BTC and alt ETH pairs. I mean, if it's making higher lows on alt BTC, you can pretty much be guaranteed that it's making them on alt ETH. So you only really need to look at that. And then take the top 20 by ROI off the bottom. So, which ones are performing best since those two lows. Do your fundamental analysis on all of them and then pick the top 5. Yeah, so, you can say what you like about Ansem, but the dude has given you all the information you need to do extremely well in the market that's coming. So, I don't know. He's hung out with some grifters, but I'm going to give him a pass because this is good information. So, yeah, Sui BTC. I mean, look at this thing. Here's the USD pair. Massive candle today. 20% candle, and off the lows on the 5th, this thing was at 46 cents and almost 2x'd in one day, or in 1 week, sorry. I guess this was all that KOL spam bullshit, which is why I never long this thing, just because it was so obvious what was happening that these, people with Twitter clouts were being given cash to pump this thing, but it's still pumping. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just going to keep going, especially with this last. This is where they all dumped their allocations, or I don't know what happened, but there was something scammy happening. So you got this very bearish weekly candle last week, with this massive wick to the upside and closed red. To me, that's a reversal candle, and the fact that it's Friday and you had a massively bullish weekly so far, could even go higher into the Sunday close. It's invalidated this thing, and that reversal invalidation just makes the chart more bullish. So yeah, I've got a little sweet long open now on a convert. And then the old BTC pair just massively bullish, this huge pump with the bull flag. We're breaking out of it now. Yes, pumped straight through resistance today, rejected here before and straight through today. Looks pretty good. A lot of volume coming in on the BTC pair. So yeah, here's the July 5th low. And then we went low into the August the 5th low. But since then, it's just smashed its way out of the lows. Massively bullish. Yeah, and then just TRX is another one that's been performing really well relative to majors, to Bitcoin in particular. Maybe consolidating here for a bit. Still got a core position in this. It is a little bit overbought at the moment, so I don't know if we retest this 1430 level. That was the highest weekly close from last cycle. So yeah, massively bullish that this coin is potentially going to take out last cycle's highs. There's not many coins that have done that. Solana on the market cap chart, yes, but nothing else that I'm aware of. And then I just did a little bit of research, uncharacteristic maybe, DeFi Llama research this morning, which I posted in Discord. Everybody always talks about who the founder of Tron is. Justin Sun's a scammer, all that stuff. But I want to know, is this thing profitable? That's all I care about. And, how does it compare to something like ETH? So if I look at price and I look at stable coins and I look at transactions, this thing is massively bullish. It's got $60 billion of stable coins on it, mostly USDT, I think. In 2024, this thing has minted $19 billion of USDT just this year alone, and ETH has done 13 billion. This is better data than ETH. I mean, it's a 13 billion market cap coin. ETH is what, 300 billion. I can guarantee you can go and look at DeFi Llama. It doesn't look like this. This is up and to the right. So I'm going to stay along TRX as long as this weekly closes above this 1430 level. If it doesn't, then it starts to look like rejection. Maybe we come back down. But as long as we have the highest weekly close ever, new all-time high for the weekly close, then in my opinion, this thing's very likely to keep going. And it's undervalued. 13 billion, it's literally 4% of ETH's market cap, and they're printing more stable coins, more USDT than Ethereum. The revenue is massive. It's $1 million a day or something stupid. So say what you want about the founder. I don't care. I keep logging it. And then this is just the Tron BTC pair. Again, here is the July 5th low. This is the day of the massive dump for Bitcoin. This thing, you can't even see it on here. It didn't give a fuck. It's been pumping versus Bitcoin all the way through that. And then again on the 5th of August, pumped. And, as Bitcoin made that massive dump into 52K. This thing was busy pumping relative to Bitcoin. And now it's up here. So I don't know. This looks like good momentum to me. Bit of an inverse head and shoulders here on the weekly. Interesting that this wick is into this volume node here, so it's obviously a bit of a level. But basically, I'm just going to watch the USD pair, and as long as we get the highest ever weekly close, that's bullish enough for me. And then versus ETH, obviously, also outperforming. And then Aave, still long Aave. I'm in for the long haul with Aave. It was the monthly chart that got me to buy with this 1020 EMA cross back in Jan. Compressing since then. Nice breakout. Broke through the trend line, which I drew from here to there. So 3 touches and through. So yeah, I mean, there's a really nice Aave thesis here by Arthur 0x, which I haven't finished reading yet, but I will do after this. I like that he opened with the largest, most battle-tested borrowing lending protocol, just talking about how it's been around since January 2020, 5th year of operations. One of the most battle-tested across all of DeFi lending borrowing sector. The largest borrow-lend protocol, $7.5 billion active loans. Yeah, it's a good read. Come back to that. So yeah, I'm in for the long haul with Aave. Here's the Bitcoin charts. Here again, August 5th lows, pumped out of there really hard. July 5th lows, all the way back down here. Big wicks on both of these lows, and we're massively higher now. And then comp related to Aave, also DeFi 1.0 protocol, also with some proposals currently to return revenue to token holders. This thing moved through this big volume node today. It's just peaking the weekly candle, big chunky one. It's just peaking out of the top here. If I move all that price history, the point of control will move. But yeah, this is another good daily candle for comp. Also long comp. Targeting up here, which is almost like a 2.5x, 2.3x from where we are. Anything from 120 up to 140, maybe 150 even. Let's see. Stocks coiling and curling upwards. This is quite a clean chart. You can see this uptrend on RSI. And then just how, you know, we have these downtrends, pumps out, downtrend, pumps out, downtrend, grinds out and pumps. Now we're pumping out again. Yeah, so just targeting, you know, 80 area and above on RSI, 130 to 140, 150 even on price. I think is a good target for this trade. We still need to claim this level, but it's looking pretty promising based on today. Yeah, looks great. And then Phantom, another very similar chart actually, similar structure anyway to comp, but probably get higher returns on this, given that it's not a DeFi protocol and there's a lot of interesting stuff in the works with Sonic, the new S token, but similar structure on the RSI, similar long downtrend. Everyone was super bullish here for Sonic. Didn't materialize. Cash rotated out. So you had this long ass downtrend all the way from 124 down to brutal, down to like less than 30 cents. People are bullish again now. I think because of Sonic developments, maybe. I need to look into that. But also because of the BDC pair showing some strength on the weekly. I don't know. Not quite as convinced by Phantom. This RSI is already quite high. doesn't look massively strong on the BTC pair like things like Aave do and even Tron. But yeah, I've got a small bag. I'll keep watching it. This downtrend's broken, which is good. No violent pump as yet, and it looks like it's getting towards sort of overbought levels without having actually moved that much. But let's see what happens. I'm seeing quite a few people are bullish on it. Grant's been bullish on it. A couple of other people. Sorry, that's 2 BTC pairs up there. I don't know why I got 2 of these guys. And then Tower's been moving nicely, broke this downtrend. This is meant to be log charts, so that's better. Yeah, you have this nice bull div here with RSI making a higher low, price making lower low. So a good sign of buyer interest and strength. Huge volume candle here on the August the 5th low. Massive wick, same as Aave, everything bought up here underneath $200. It's the 563 wick, throwing all his paycheck into this thing again. So yeah, and then we talked about this on stream last night. It was pushing on this trend line stupidly. I didn't buy any. My account was already kind of maxed out. I didn't want to add more leverage at that point. But if I had, I would have made some money. This is always a bit of a big if, and we didn't get it. So yeah, TAR looks good, and the BTC pair looks pretty good as well. So this is the 5th August low. Was the 5th low? July the 5th low. Made a lower low on August the 5th versus BTC, but it's come back really nicely since then and gone above this high. So yeah, and generally I'm just bullish on this thing, being the biggest decentralized AI protocol, the whole subnet structure where they all compete against each other. It seems like it's, massive potential. I know Eric Wall's been quite unkind about it, but I think it'll pay off in the long term, and we'll start to see interesting products being built on top of it. So yeah, just moving on. Oh yeah, Zero. I've been long in this thing since forever, and it's pumping through this big volume node at the moment. $4 is kind of a level as well. I think that we've gone through the VWAP. Nice. Yeah, so massively bullish on this protocol. Yeah, this chop was really nasty. I kept trying to long it towards $4 and kept getting chopped up, and we're nearly there. So I will take some profit when we get to $4. And then PopCat was a big winner today as well. And yesterday too, actually. Kind of faked out of this range. Very solid mid-range here, point of control. Tested the VWAP, and then just a massive pump yesterday and today, up from like 44 cents 2 days ago to 72. What's the market cap on this thing now? 700 million. So yeah, I have a long-term bag of this. Nice to see it coming back. This is quite an ugly structure. Being invalidated is what you want to see. So yeah, when this daily closes up here, this head and shoulders will pretty much be invalidated. This is your next obvious target, this 78, 80 cents level. And then you need to think about this level and the highs. So, this is the $1 area, so it's a big psychological level. Might see some profit taking up there. So that's PopCat. I'm ignoring the chat. Sorry, guys. I need another monitor. It's coming. Yeah, JP saving our bags. Thank you, JP. Wife changing money. Dude, I changed my wife just about a year or two ago, so that was stressful enough. I don't need any more wives. Like, we're going to see a flip-flop between good and bad data for a bit. That's what a soft landing looks like. Okay. I mean, we've kind of had flip-floppy kind of data anyway, haven't we? We had that like bullish retail sales reports. And then after that, we had non-farm payrolls come in under expectations. So I think the main thing is that inflation's basically now being not disregarded, but it's being viewed as a battle that's largely being won. And they're going to ease to save the labor markets. So the priorities have changed. I don't know. That's kind of how I'm going to be looking at it until the market proves me wrong. But yeah, it's nice to be able to worry less about the macro shit, and hopefully we just get some liquidity coming in, and we can focus on crypto more. So this is Selfie. This is a meme that Dan was shilling on the weekend. And it's now Friday. Hadn't really moved until now. I think he was showing this on the weekend. Yeah, I don't want to misquote him. But it just popped up at me when I was going through the watch list today. This long-ass downtrend, reclaiming the point of control and into the VWAP, looks potentially quite bullish. But this is a log chart, so it's actually a massive long downtrend. So yeah, it's got potential. It needs to clear the VWAP. Yeah, it was interesting that you had this quite clean long log downtrend, and it's pumping quite hard out of there, out of the point of control. Once it's above here, it'll look better, but looks promising. And then this is Morpheus AI. We covered them on the website quite a bit, maybe 6 months ago. This was a huge daily candle earlier. It's pulled back a bit since then, about 8%, but it was basically $20 to $30 in one day. It's had a brutal time of it since these highs at $140. But interesting to see it pumping quite hard. I'm not sure if it's news related or just general illiquidity, and then suddenly some cash coming back into the AI's kind of meta. Yeah, and then Retardio kind of looks like it's reversing here. This was a bigger candle earlier. Quite clean fib retracements. So this looks promising. I've still got a bag of this. One thing I haven't looked at is TAP. Yeah, and this is just interesting. The Sol chart. I haven't really kept up with them, but I did look at their Twitter, and they've been posting quite a lot of stuff and interviews with Toli. So it looks like the tech is teching, and these are big candles. Like this is just today. This is almost a 2x in one day. Obviously, it's had a brutal time of it. It's quite a brutal chart. This is like $20, these highs, and then down to like 50 cents, all in the space. This is literally just March, since the March correction started for majors, mid-March. Since mid-March, this thing has gone from $20 to 50 cents, and now back up to $2. That's pretty extreme volatility for something that's not a meme. And then just this is Elo, who's been on, I think he's been on Round Trippers before, friend of the Blockmates, and he does these best 5 alpha tweets, like a roundup of best stuff on Twitter. He does these every week, every Friday, and this week's is just really good. I haven't finished reading them all, but I've made a start. Just some number one is just about why it's worth making your portfolio majors heavy if we're going to run now into next year. Think about what's happened so far this cycle. Aside from memes, this cycle's largely been a story of Solana and Bitcoin. So it's definitely worth having a big majors allocation, not only to hedge against downside risk, but also because, you know, Bitcoin, since the lows at 16K, it's what, the highs are 74. That's decent. Solana, lows of $9, highs of 240, I think. No, not quite 240. 210, isn't it? Yeah, anyway. It's worth holding some Bitcoin and some Solana alongside all your degen picks. Guide to building chains with real users. Yeah, this looks like a good article. I haven't read it yet. And then this is the Aave thesis that I highlighted earlier. And then this is super interesting on Hyperliquid, which I've been using quite a bit, trying to accumulate a few points there. Why Hyperliquid's different. Just some stuff about how I believe they're an L1. Yeah, Hyperliquid's EVM is not just another EVM chain. Those expecting it to follow the same old L1 playbook will be in for a surprise. So there's some interesting tech at play in terms of, I think, atomic swaps from ETH L2s to Hyperliquid, which is pretty snappy if you've used it. Yeah, I need to finish reading this. It's super interesting though. I'm quite interested in Hyperliquids. It's very user-friendly, and they've got plans to turn it into quite a fully fledged DeFi platform. So take it beyond just perps trading and just being a DEX. So quite interesting protocol. Oh yeah, and then just an interesting piece of analysis on ETH. Loads of people still got huge ETH bags, still waiting for ETH to move. Respect to whoever you are and the levels of patience you've exhibited. But this looks like a really interesting piece of research. I need to read this as well. Yeah, just worth checking that out. Yeah, and then we already talked about Ansem's weekend homework. And then just, yeah, I was on CoinMarketCap looking at BTC pairs. Yeah, it's worth looking at BTC pairs, especially if you have a majors heavy portfolio. You want to make degen picks that have a reasonable chance of outperforming Bitcoin and ETH. And at the moment, it's really just Bitcoin because ETH hasn't really done anything very exciting just yet. Yeah, that's all I've got for today. Unless you guys want to look at something. That was quite a few tabs. My laptop's training. Cool. Have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you guys on Monday.